Hi everyone and welcome back to Mandarin Pod for Children. To protect speakers' privacy and enhance audio quality, some or all voices in this episode are created with AI assistance. The content is inspired by real-life classroom experiences of the eChinese Learning teaching team. I'm Grace, and today's episode is all about something that might feel counterintuitive, especially in today's fast-paced, achievement-driven world, the idea that going slower can actually help your child learn better and more joyfully. If you've ever felt like your child is falling behind in learning Mandarin, or if you felt the need to add more flashcards, more lessons, more apps just to keep up, this conversation is for you. We're going to explore how slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It actually might be the key to your child falling in love with the language. And to help us explore this topic, I'm joined by Daniel, a father from Canada whose 6-year-old son Theo is on a Mandarin learning journey. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Grace. I'm so happy to be here. I've listened to this podcast for a while, and it's helped me reframe so many things. I'm excited to share our story today.
That's wonderful to hear. So let's start with the big picture. What inspired you to raise Theo with a second language?
Well, I always admired people who could switch between languages so naturally. My wife speaks 3 and I only speak 1. I guess I felt that by giving Theo a chance to learn another language from a young age, we were opening up his world, from friendships to travel to career options later in life. But more than anything, I wanted him to have access to a culture that I've grown to deeply respect.
That's a beautiful intention. Now, how did that play out in practice at the beginning?
Oh, I went into it with full steam. I made a schedule, printed out vocabulary posters, downloaded all the popular language apps, and even bought picture books. I thought the more structured we were, the better results we'd see. We had Mandarin time every afternoon after preschool. 5-year-olds have such sponge-like brains, right? I thought, let's make the most of it.
Sounds like you were very intentional and prepared, but I'm guessing it didn't go quite how you expected?
Not even close. At first, Theo was curious. He'd laugh at the funny sounds and enjoy tapping through the apps. But quickly, it became a chore. He started resisting our language time. I'd say time for Mandarin, and he'd immediately groan or try to bargain his way out of it. The joy was gone.
That's a tough moment for any parent. Did you blame yourself?
Absolutely. I started questioning everything. Was I not doing it right? Should I have started earlier? Was he just not interested in languages? It was frustrating. But deep down, I knew he wasn't the problem. I was.
That's such a vulnerable realization, and I appreciate you sharing it. What helped you move forward?
One evening after a particularly tough session, I asked him, "What do you like about this?" And he said, "I like it when we make silly voices. I like when we pretend we're animals." That's when it hit me, he didn't want more structure. He wanted connection. He wanted to play.
Wow. That's such an important moment. So what did you change?
Pretty much everything. I threw out the schedule. We took a break for a week, no lessons, no flashcards. Then I started reintroducing things in small, playful doses. 1 word a day. No drills. No expectations. We'd draw together, and I'd casually introduce a word. If he repeated it, great. If not, no big deal.
How did he respond to that new approach?
Honestly, it was like flipping a switch. The tension disappeared. Language time didn't feel like time anymore. It just became part of our everyday interactions. He started using words without prompting. At dinner, he'd name an object. During bath time, he'd make up a song with a word he liked. It was natural and fun.
That's incredible. And that change came simply from slowing down and tuning into his interests.
Yes. I realized I had been measuring success by how many words he could recall or whether he could finish a worksheet. But when I started noticing his feelings instead, his joy, his playfulness, it became clear that that was the real foundation for learning.
That mindset shift is so powerful, and I think so many parents need to hear it. Was it ever hard for you to stay on that slower path?
Yes, all the time. Especially when I saw videos online of kids speaking fluently or reading full books. I'd get that pit in my stomach like, are we falling behind? But then I'd see Theo light up when he used a word spontaneously, and I'd remind myself that is the moment that matters.
It really is. We're so conditioned to think of progress as fast and visible, but sometimes the most meaningful progress is internal and slow.
Exactly. I think we need to redefine what success looks like. It's not always measurable. For me, the day Theo called out a word while playing with his toy animals unprompted was more exciting than if he had completed a worksheet perfectly.
So beautifully said. Now I want to ask, what advice would you give to other parents who feel like they're not doing enough?
First, take a deep breath. Your child doesn't need perfection. They need presence. Second, remember that every child learns differently. What works for one kid might not work for yours, and that's okay. Third, notice the energy, not just the output. Are they smiling? Are they engaged? That's your real progress tracker. And finally, give yourself permission to pause. A break is not failure. Sometimes it's the reset both of you need.
I love that. And I think it's worth emphasizing, joy is not a luxury in language learning, it's a necessity. Especially with young kids, joy is what builds the bridge to long-term retention and love for the language.
Yes. I used to think consistency meant doing the same thing every day. Now I think it means showing up with the same spirit, one of curiosity, connection, and patience.
That's such a wise redefinition. Before we close, I want to share a few practical tips inspired by Daniel's journey. So if you're a parent wondering how to slow down and still make progress, here's where you can start. 1. Micro goals are gold. One phrase a week is enough if it's used joyfully. Quality over quantity every time. 2. Anchor the language in real moments. Use words during snack time, playtime, or bedtime, not just during lessons. 3. Watch for joy signals. If your child laughs or repeats something with excitement, that's a huge win. 4. Turn off the pressure. Try saying, "Wanna try a word game?" instead of "We need to study now." 5. Be a playful partner. Learn with them. Make mistakes together. Let it be a shared adventure, not a one-way street. Daniel, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your honest, hopeful journey. You've really shown us that slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means tuning in and moving forward with intention.
Thank you, Grace. I hope our story helps other parents breathe a little easier and enjoy the journey more.
That's it for today's episode of Mandarin Pod for Children. If this episode helped you rethink your approach to language learning, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with another parent who needs to hear that slow is not only okay, it's smart. Until next time, I'm Grace. Keep it playful, keep it patient, and remember, your child's love for the language starts with joy. DM me to get a free online one-to-one Mandarin lesson plus a free Chinese-themed gift delivered to your doorstep.